I did not expect the first week of Avocademy to be this difficult, but it turned out to be. And a lot of it really had to do with me getting in my own way, which I'll talk about in this video. So in the last video near the end, I had to, for module 1, define a problem that I wanted to solve throughout the entirety of this bootcamp. And so I landed on one that I really liked, which was juggling a full-time job and trying to pursue a music passion. And so before I could really delve to work on that, I had to submit that on the Slack channel and get that approved by a mentor, which it was. Once I had my problem approved, then I moved on to module 2, which is all about researching that problem. And the first part of it was using secondary research. So this involves me just Googling and trying to get more background information about this topic, maybe some statistics if there's some available. I'm not trying to necessarily find solutions to this problem. I'm just trying to gain some insights into what people think and their viewpoints about this. But that is where I ran into some difficulty with my problem, because while when I searched this problem of juggling a full-time job with pursuing music, there was a lot of people saying how they were struggling with this issue, but there just wasn't a lot of background. Like I would have liked to see, I don't know, some statistic that said 62% of people who pursue music struggle to do so because they juggle a full-time job or something like that. And there just wasn't really anything concrete like that. And the example that the instructor uses in the course has statistics. And so that gave a lot of credibility to that problem to make it more worthwhile to try to design a solution for. And so since I couldn't find anything that concrete, I really started to worry that, am I even on the right topic here? Do I need to find maybe another problem in the music industry, or maybe do I need to switch entirely? And there was a brief moment where I was like, well, maybe I could explore anxiety and dating, which is something that I've struggled with in the past. Well, honestly, currently do, but that's beside the point. So I thought about doing that. So I actually posted on the Avocademy Slack, and I got good feedback that was basically like, well, why don't you broaden it a little more? And instead of juggling a full-time job and pursuing music, maybe it's just finding time to pursue music. So it's a little more broad, because there's other reasons why one wouldn't be able to pursue music. It might not be a job. It could be school. It could be family or anything of that nature. So once I gained some clarity on my topic with the help of the mentor, I just decided to keep the course. And I still didn't find like any gold nugget articles, but I at least found some supporting articles to help give some credibility to my problem. As far as the content of module 2, I haven't gone through all of it, but what I have gone through so far, there's videos and there's articles to read. And the videos are pretty short. I talked about this in my last video. I'm personally used to like 15-minute plus videos for courses, and a lot of these are 3 to 6 minute long. So they can be a little bit superficial, but the articles that they reference are very in-depth and do give a lot of detail. Now for me, I personally learn better from video, and I just feel like if the videos are more in-depth, I would get more out of them. The articles are helpful, but they're technically articles I could just pull up myself. Now part of what they've done is Avocademy is they have pulled together these articles and organized them, because realistically, I probably wouldn't know what to search or look for when it came to these articles. So they're high quality, but I still would like a little bit more, I guess, in-house generated content through videos or maybe articles that maybe they've written themselves. Now, aside from the modules that I went through, there were some other things that happened this week. So I had a welcome call, which was a Zoom meeting that I had with what's called a student success mentor. And she basically just went over a lot of what was in the welcome module, as well as answered any questions that the student had. And so I decided to ask, what is one of the biggest stumbling blocks that students have in this course, and she mentioned that wireframing was one of the biggest problem areas that students have. And I'm already kind of fearing that because my graphic design skill is, I mean, truthfully, it's probably beginner. So I know when I get to that, it's probably going to be a little bit challenging for me. And then later in the week, I actually had my first one-on-one mentor session, and that went well. So basically, we went over the defined problem that I made, as well as just came up with some next steps for how I can research the problem. And she really gave me some basically permission to not have the most perfect articles. She mentioned that, it's not the most critical part of the research journey, and to not really stress about it. So that was nice to know that I didn't need, these groundbreaking scientific journals talking about juggling life and pursuing music. She is a full-time UX designer, and she was a graduate from Avocademy, which is cool. So she knows the whole curriculum. She's been through it and ultimately got a full-time job. And I think has been working as a UX designer for over a year. So aside from just talking about the problem that I defined and just sort of my assignments, I just sort of chatted with her about just her overall experience. And one of the nuggets that she left me with is that I asked her what sort of the biggest challenge with entering the UX design field is, because she started off in a different field. I think she taught linguistics. And she mentioned that perfectionism is ultimately the thing that's going to hold people back and held her back, because in the boot camp, or when you're working on your passion project, you can really devote a lot of time to research and really nailing down that problem. But in the real world, there's a lot of time constraints and stakeholders at play. And so a lot of times the time constraints are a lot shorter and the research can't be as thorough as one might want. And then just some other things I noticed about Avocademy this week. On the Slack channel, there is this tab called the Wins channel. And this is where people post final offers that they get for job positions, which I think is really cool because it not only shows what they're making and what their role is, but it also, a lot of people will talk about their process. So what they used to get the job, whether that's LinkedIn, Indeed, or whatever, but also talk about what the interview process was like, which is something that I really like to know about. And just really cool and just a motivating thing to see, especially when things are stressful and difficult. And yeah, as far as the next steps for me going forward, I have to design a screener survey. So this is a survey that I would create to help screen people to see if they would be appropriate for me to interview them. So this would be a survey that I would send out to music producers, songwriters, beat makers. And I don't know all the details because I haven't actually watched the modules yet, but basically just figure out, I assume, if they're struggling with this problem of finding time to pursue music just with all of life's responsibilities. And then from there, I'd be able to interview some of those people and gain some kind of deeper insights into the specific problems that they experience. So I'll be sure to keep you informed about that as I go forward. Now, if you do want to learn more about Avocademy, I do have a link in the description below. It is an affiliate link, so if you want to support this channel, then that is a great way to do so. And if you do want to save $100 off the course, you can do so by using the link SAVE100. And I plan on doing weekly updates as I go through this course, as well as well into my future UX career. So if you want to see the next video of my journey, when it is available, you can do so here or here. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.